Good morning. It's a bit of an overcast day here in Mumbai, and that's surprising considering that we are at the start of December. And the equity markets also facing quite a bit of chop and churn. The start today was more or less along the lines of yesterday's start, in that the benchmark indices are gaining about 0.9% at this point. Nifty once again reclaiming the 17,000 mark. Overall, the market breadth is in favor of the advances, about 2 gainers for every loser, but it's not tremendous gains for the broader market indices. So you have the midcap index that's currently gaining about 0.4%. You have the small cap index that's just about flat in trade. The context is very important to understand. Heading into trade today, we were taking not the best cues from overseas, in that you had the US markets that corrected quite sharply overnight, and this is on the back of the Federal Reserve Chair's testimony, where he said that perhaps the inflation that has been witnessed in the US over the past year and a half is not as transitory as it was initially thought, and this is being read as a sign that the Fed Chair, as well as other thinkers in the Federal Reserve, will be tending towards removal of the easy monetary policy, or rolling back of the easy monetary policy that has led to so much liquidity in the system. So that is certainly having a bearing on global equity markets. Of course, in our markets, we have seen quite a bit of selling in the recent past, and to a certain extent this is par for the course. One has to see whether this will last throughout the session though. So just to take you through a few names that are in focus, the financials clearly in focus, but even the Nifty Bank, which was gaining over 1% about 15 minutes back, is now about 0.8% higher. I'll still tell you the stocks that are on the top on the Nifty 50. You have the likes of IndusInd Bank, Eicher Motors, HDFC, Tech Mahindra, JSW Steel, all gaining in trade, and you have ONGC, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, IOC, as well as Kotak Mahindra Bank and Cipla that are losing ground. Cipla to the extent of 1/3%, so not major declines on the benchmark indices today. Just looking at the sectoral picture as well, of course, auto in focus today as well as tomorrow on account of the monthly sales data. Remember, this is wholesale sales, and therefore it is the number of units that goes from the factory to the dealership. So perhaps look at the last 3 months of wholesale sales in order to get a sense of how things have panned out. Of course, Maruti Suzuki, and this is an exclusive story that ET Now had yesterday, is likely to have gone back to near normal production in the last month. Nifty IT doing reasonably well today, up about 1.4%. You have the other sectors that are performing, is the auto sector is doing quite well as well, up about 1% or so. Metal up about 1%. Pharma continues to languish, it's not doing so well, and energy is down about 0.25%. Realty also down about 0.1%. Broadly though, I think we'll have to wait and see whether this initial strength in the benchmark indices holds through to the rest of the session. Indeed, we are in the penultimate day of the weekly series, and the expiry rather, and that could have a bearing. You could see increased volatility both today and tomorrow. So let's wait and watch.